Hey guys, it's Arun again. So there seems to be a bit of confusion working with the interactive quiz component in the app builder. I'm going to try to build this out from without having tried it before. So let's see where the issues are and if we can get a quiz component in there, an interactive quiz. So again, we're going to start with that simple app test that we made. I'll go to screens and actions, very typical. Now I'm going to go to add new. And there should be interactive quiz here. Just look for it. There it is. It's fourth from the top. Okay, so the interactive quiz basically is a great way to engage with your users and quiz them on the subjects that you're covering in your app. You know, great interactivity, and it's dynamic, and you could change it. I'm just going to try to get it to work in a very simple way. So we know what to do. We're going to basically give this thing a name, call it quiz, and choose it from here, interactive quiz, add it to our application. And there we go. Now, of course, we need a way to access it. So we're going to create a button for that and call it quiz. Select the screen, quiz, and again, remember from last time, we don't really have to upload the image. We could just call it from here. We'll call this quiz button.png. Go ahead and add this. Okay, now in Xcode, we are going to add quiz button.png to our images. Let's just do that real quick. It could be really any image, and again, this is all for test purposes, so I'm just going to create a really quick quiz button. In fact, let's just use an existing one here. I'm going to copy that, paste it, rename it. Quiz button. Drag that into our BT images folder. Yes, we want to create a copy. And let's see if we can run this in our simulator. This may take a second or two. Again, it's kind of starting up the simulator, compiling all the code. Something in Xcode is that you'll actually see the output come out here when things are ready to launch and things are running. And again, this is a old laptop, so you might have to bear with me for a second here. And we should start seeing some output as the app loads. There we go. Yes, I do want to refresh this. Here we go. Here's our quiz button. Now if we click on that. Wow, okay, so the quiz is all set up. Again, we didn't have to repackage and download, even though we added a whole new screen and even a component type. So let's go back here. So now we have a very basic interactive quiz. Let's go ahead and start creating some questions and see how the app updates. Again, this is actually the first time I'm using this, so bear with me. I'm going to be learning along with you guys. So from the menu button, you can just hit the quiz link, and it takes you right into the screen for the quiz. Let's see, our quiz as a nickname, and I think that's what's going to show up over here as a label. So hit save, and let's see what that does. Let's just refresh this. Okay, maybe not. Oh, here we go. Top navigation bar. Awesome. Our quiz. Let's hit save. And let's refresh that. Woo! Alright, our quiz. Awesome. So that's the first step. Now, I think what some of the users are experiencing are problems with the sounds that are associated with right and wrong answers. So let's see if we can kind of fix that. So let's just create a test question and see if we can get that right. So question text, what year was the War of 1812? Obviously 1812 was the answer. Not 1975 or 1776 or 2013. Now let's add this in there. Okay. You may hear some babies in the background. Please ignore that sound. That's just a few visitors that are in town. So we're going to go back, refresh this, look at the quiz. There we go. So let's start the quiz. Very nice. Awesome. And this is all out of the box. So what year was the War of 1812? Nope. Let's try this again. Oh, it shuffled it. They got me. All right. I really should know this, but here we go. Woohoo! Okay. And we quit the quiz and takes us back to the main menu. So let's try to see if we can actually affect the sound that comes out of that. Now, what I'm going to do is go into, I think it's quiz behavior and layout, or quiz scoring and finish options. Okay, so what's already defined in here is write.mp3, okay? So that should be the case when we select a right answer. So I'm going to make sure that write.mp3 is in the BT sounds directory. And let's see if it is. So let's go into Xcode. BT sound, oh, there's nothing there. So let's put something that says write.mp3 in there and see if the sound works. I'm just going to rename this guy to write. Okay. And let's pop this into the sounds. And yes, we want to copy. So remember, now that we kind of have a new file in here, we're going to have to quit the simulator and recompile the code so that that file is included in the binary. And so we're going to relaunch this. And we're waiting. All right, so let's see what the quiz does now. And we're going to start the quiz. And hit 1812. So I didn't hear anything on here, but that could be because it may just not do it on the simulator. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording and then see if we can figure this out. Alright guys, this is Arun again, and it's been a few minutes kind of searching around to see what the issue was with having sounds in the interactive quiz. So it looks like we have to kind of edit some code. Now, I don't want you guys to be afraid of this. It's kind of normal. Don't worry about getting in there. I'll walk you through it. But what I want you to do is kind of, definitely register for the Buzztouch forums. I know Michael's been telling everyone to do that as well. It's a wealth of information, and when you get stuck, you can definitely go there. So we found this piece of advice from MGoBlue, who's a member on the Buzztouch forums. So in your appdelicate.m file, search for this thing, okay? Now this is a commented piece of code, and this is a piece of code. And then uncomment the list of MP3 files. Sound effects will work after that. Okay, so let me walk you through how to actually do this. And I actually tested this out already before I started recording, so we know it works. Anyway, so we're going to go back into Xcode. Okay, go into our Project Explorer. Under the BT config directory, okay, under the btconfig directory, we're going to open up the appdelegate.m file. Okay? Now appdelegate.m is the file that you're interested in. And it's going to be prepended with the name of your app on there. In our case, it's simple test app. So we're going to look for this array, look for this string, fill an array of sound effect file names. Okay, so we're going to hit Control F or Apple F or Command F, fill an array of, there we go. So here we find this here. This is the commented piece of code. Now originally, I popped that in there, but originally what you're going to see on your side is this, and this is a block comment. So all of these sound effects here were commented out. Now what you could do is just uncomment this whole thing, or in our case, I just want to add write.mp3, so I'm going to select that, copy it out of the comments, and paste it there. And any other sound effects that you want to add in here, you could do it in this thing. So you would just kind of, copy it in there, and then replace write.mp3 with the file name that you want to put in there. So I have a couple other files. Anyway, let me save that for a little later. So anyway, we're just gonna uncomment out write.mp3. We'll hit save, Apple S. Now what you want to do here is clean it to make sure that we want to clean out any of the anything that's stagnant. So clean kind of is an operation that removes every old thing. And when you make a code change, you generally want to clean it just for sanity's sake. You don't want something old lingering around, so that it could cause a problem and then you're not really sure why that happened. So anyway, let's run it on the iPhone simulator and see what we get this time. And you're going to follow this process for other sound effects that you want to add. Again, just make sure it's in the BT sound directory. So here, we're compiling all the files. And once you do a clean, it might take a little longer to compile as well. Now I know a couple of users have been experiencing problems with this. What I'm going to do after this video is go ahead and add a couple more sound effects, and let's see how that works. Again, I've only tested it with one sound effect, and hopefully this should work while we're recording this video. Yeah, I got crying babies all over the place. Just try to try to pay attention to the code here. So while this is compiling, let me go ahead and peruse around the forums. Again, it's Buzztouch in forums, and you're gonna just find a whole lot of stuff. I mean, if you run into a problem, it's really likely that somebody else has run into the same kind of problem. So here we have the build succeeded. I'm just gonna wait for the iOS simulator to pop up. So that's what I would do, is kind of go through a process of looking online, looking on the Buzztouch forums to see if your problem already exists there. Try to work through the solution. If you're still having problems, then go ahead and definitely call up support, or again, you can hit me up on the Facebook group. So here we go. So here's our main screen that we're familiar with. Let's just refresh it. Let's go to the quiz. Start our quiz. 1812.
Correct.
All right, that is me with correct. So we have our first sound effect working. Now let me show you an issue that we know exists inside of the app builder, and we can kind of do a workaround. So I'm gonna go back to the app builder here, if I can find it. Okay, so remember this here, this had write.mp3 as a sound effect. I am actually going to put a couple of other sound effects here. So for incorrect, let me just double check. I have a wrong.mp3 and I have a finish.mp3. So again, remember, we don't necessarily have to upload it. So I'm going to hit wrong.mp3 as an incorrect, and finish.mp3 for the finish sound effect. I'm going to go ahead and save that. You can see our JSON is saved here. In fact, you can see the parameters that are set up as wrong.mp3 and finish.mp3. what I'm going to do is stop the simulator, just quit it for now. I am going to go back to Xcode, go to the Project Explorer, and then move wrong and finish.mp3 into the BT Sounds directory. Hit OK. Okay, but that's not enough. Remember, we want to go back to the appdelegate.m file. Okay, and you could do a search for write.mp3. Oh, sorry, write.mp3. Now just copy that line. Okay, paste it, and paste it again, and put in wrong.mp3, and finally finished.mp3. Save that. And you can just go to File, Save, Product, Clean. Okay, and let's launch it in the simulator and see what we get. Now remember, I didn't upload it, and one of the reasons is one of the issues that we're having with the builder is that there's a blank screen that pops up when you hit select, so you can't really upload in here. And so this should be a workaround that works for everybody. Now normally, you know, that the way that that pop-up should work, as an example, is this here. You know, giving you the upload option. But in our case, we don't have the upload option. So, like I said before, in the simple app tutorial, you can just write the name of the file in there, and it should work. So let's see how we're doing. Okay, we're still compiling. And once again, I did a clean, so it may take a little bit of a while here. All right, build was successful. And let's see it pop up. Okay. There we go. Yes, we want to refresh it. So let's go to our quiz. Start the quiz. Now let's test for wrong.
Wrong.
Nice.
Finished.
Okay, so let's try again.
Wrong. Finished.
And one last time for the correct answer.
Correct.
All
Finished.
right, guys. That was a lot of fun. Again, it's kind of, you know, in the world of app development and software in general, not everything is going to work smoothly the first time around, but now that we've kind of solved this problem once, we know the resources to look at, and we have a great support staff at the App Code. You know, you can definitely work through any issues, and just the components that we're getting out the box are just fantastic. I mean, if you can imagine coding this entire interactive quiz from scratch, it'd be insane. There's a lot more effort than simply just copying and pasting some lines of code. Don't let code, you know, get you worried. Don't let it intimidate you. We can walk through it. It's just text like everything else. And at the end of the day, if we screw up, we can just, you know, download the package again from the app builder and start over. So play around with it, have fun, and you know, happy coding. Thanks, guys. Hope this helps.